Hey everyone, very good morning to you. It's Charles here. Thursday, the 5th of March, 26, just approaching 7:30 here in Milan. A little bit under the weather, but nevertheless, the show must go on. I just hope you can deal with my robotic voice. So, the DXY, quite an easy forecast for me to be quite honest. Looking at the daily time frame, simply to the left, we can see that price is still failing to break and close above this daily order block. With that said, we've got that weekly 50 MA just sat there on top of that area, of which we are forecasting short positions from there if we were to look at the DXY. Once we superimpose all that information across the 4 hour time frame, we also have that 4 hour order block as well. That price has failed to break and close above. We had the manipulation, if we want to call it that, with price trending above, which we can see that quite clear in the 15-minute time frame. But all that has done, to be quite honest, is give us the true area of which we can anticipate the DXY to actually roll back up to. So in the immediacy, what that will look like, or what that will feel like, is DXY strength. So intraday we will see, or we hope to see, some DXY strength coming into the market, but overwhelmingly, once that order block is filled, or when that imbalance is filled, then I will be indeed expecting a DXY weakness coming out of the market. There is another place which I've just eyeballed where we could potentially look for DXY weakness. So if it isn't here, it would most certainly be. So there's a couple of areas, being quite honest, me just looking at this now after my initial review of the market this morning. So the same as saying goes, if I were to short the DXY now, it would not be an instantaneous short position. Does the short position make sense from there? Absolutely it does. Price broke down from that area. Price is now coming back up for potential continued short position. However, in the great scheme of looking to short from as high as possible, there is another area here also. So think about your Asia range type of position. If this was Asia range, then absolutely. However, you'd be waiting for confirmation. Now, the fact that it would not be an Asia range position used on the DXY, then you would still need confirmation if you were looking to short it anyway. So with that said, yes, there are a couple of areas where I do foresee that the DXY could indeed turn around from, but it's all the very best. It's all in our best interest to wait for confirmation. What that would be, for me personally, is that bearish engulfing candle from that particular area. Once I do have that bearish engulfing candle, that's pretty much as good as I can do in terms of waiting for confirmation. Perhaps once I've got the bearish engulfing, what would be ideal is a lower time frame break of structure right back in that imbalance left there, up at the highs, and then we'll be looking for a short position down on the DXY. Now keep that in mind, recognizing that prices, let's say on GU and EU, for good example, are they ready to long? We will go through those pairs next to see if they are in a good place to look for longs. Do we have the same type of similarities where price has moved off, which would be to the highs? Price has now come back down, or come back to an area of imbalance to look for a long position. So I'll cut this video here and I'll go through the other pairs. While I say that, I'm using a different form of recording here, so bear with me as I look to find how I can stop this recording now.